Good morning, YouTube. So it's still early Thursday morning, or really late Wednesday night, depending on your perspective. In my world, I'm sure you're seeing this much later. Um, it's about 4 a.m. and just seeing the traffic. I'm actually standing underneath the shelter of the strip mall that I ended the last video with. Just kind of looking out to the Circle K. I see someone on a bicycle, and there's a little bit of traffic. Um, I don't think I've ever really mentioned it on these vlogs, but my internet service provider is Cox. Did you hear that? I said Cox. C-O-X, you pervert. The cable company. I used to use them for cable TV as well, and also phone services, but at this point I'm just getting internet. But one of the services that comes with their internet, which I really didn't start using until pretty recently, is what they call Cox Mobile Hotspot. And from what I understand about that service, it's really vague, and it's one of those things that you don't like. It doesn't even get mentioned in a lot of their printed materials, but it's a service that I've, especially in the last month, grown to really enjoy. After a couple of bouts with their customer service people trying to figure out, hey, what the hell is my password and login? How do I get on this? Because as long as my phone does it automatically, it's easy. But I'm not good at remembering new passwords and logins and stuff. It's just like, if I use something and then I use it again in 6 months, I don't remember that shit. And Apple will always offer to remember it for me. Google will always offer to remember it for me. Yeah, I don't trust either of those entities. They're not good at allowing me to get their own. I can't ever recover my Apple password from Apple, and I went through a whole existential crisis one time trying to recover my Google password from Google. So yeah, I don't really want either of those entities to remember my Cox password. Thank you very much. But to Cox's credit, at least when I have needed to get that up and running, instead of spending time on a website and getting just endlessly frustrated with, and potentially getting locked out because I've failed miserably too many times, like I did with Google a few years back, I actually get to talk to a human who puts up with me and my rambling and my whatever you want to call it, call it just mental issues and memory issues, and they work with me through it because I can generally give them enough information to identify that I am who I say I am. And unlike Apple or Google, I am actually paying substantial amounts of money for my Cox service, so they always get me connected eventually. Anyway, since the last time I connected this iPhone, it's been pretty good at remembering and latching on to Cox Wi-Fi wherever it's available. Now, I'm not entirely sure how that works. Like, if there's just, I really don't know how that works. Like, it was at one point explained that there's nodes throughout different utility poles or whatever where there's Wi-Fi, but I really don't think that's how it is. Honestly, my gut feeling is that everybody who has Cox internet with a cable modem that also is a Wi-Fi router all in one unit, which pretty much I think all the current models are. Certainly the last two I have had, which I've rented from Cox, have been. I don't think they give you an option as to whether or not you want to share your Wi-Fi. I think it just does it as a Cox mobile hotspot for anybody that happens to be in range of it. So I'm at the strip mall, and I've just been kind of showing the action at the Circle K. Not that there's much in the way of action there, but that's what happens at this Circle K at 4 in the morning. Not nearly as interesting as, say, 27th Avenue in Indian School, but here we are at 16th Street in Indian School. I'd like to know that guy's story. I bet it's an interesting one. Anyway, moving right along. So yeah, after I ended the last video, I realized I was really short on space, and if I was going to record more video on the walk back home, not back home, but I'm back to my car, which is over at Urbandale Park, if I was going to record any video of that, or I was actually considering continuing to go north on 18th Street and maybe shoot more of the bike route, which parallels the 51 freeway. But yeah, it's, you know, it's after 4. It's time to start heading home. And of course, you know, back to my car, because I'm not walking home from here. No, that's not happening. Not that I haven't walked that far before, not that I haven't walked home from here, but I'm not doing that today because my car is at Urbandale Park. And yeah, not the best place for me to leave my car, so I should probably get back to it. Anyway, when I ended that last vlog, you know, to check my balance at that ATM, that ATM, when I don't know what that guy's probably watching me on his headlights, wondering what the fuck I'm doing here. He's not approaching me. Speaking of people approaching me, the cleaning crew came through. A guy with a blower that walked through the sidewalk in front of the strip mall, and a guy with one of those big vacuum trucks. You know, one of the trucks that has the giant, you know, street sweeper type thing on it. And he went through the parking lot. I think he picked up some stuff. I still see some debris in the parking lot, but he definitely picked up some stuff. And they didn't mess with me at all. So, you know, and I wonder how much that stems from them just really not giving a fuck. You know, hey, we're not security, it's not our job. Or if it just, you know, came from the fact that I don't look homeless. I don't look like a criminal, you know. Maybe that was my white privilege. But at any rate, after I left the ATM and I checked and saw that I was very low on space and didn't have enough space on the phone to really shoot any more video, I noticed that I was connected to Cox Wi-Fi. So I wandered around the parking lot trying to figure out, hey, where do I get 4 bars on my Wi-Fi? I'm getting 2 bars. I need to get that up to 4 bars. It definitely makes a difference on how long it takes to upload one of these vlogs to YouTube, how many bars I have. And I got a lot of bars when I got right in front of Little Caesars. Although it seemed to hit full bars, like kind of right here. And it's the next thing in the strip mall that is available. Yeah, you want to rent this spot in the hood? There's the phone number. Get right on it. CBRE. That CBRE.com. I see that commercial real estate sign a lot. They're obviously one of the big property investor players in Phoenix, but I don't really know anything about them other than that. But I think this is who has the Wi-Fi that I've been latched onto. I don't know what it is. Oh, here we go. Gracie, Arizona Jiu-Jitsu, and there's not enough lighting for you to see the sign. I just read it, but we'll sign here. It says no kids classes Wednesday, Saturday. So I think that's whose Wi-Fi I actually latched onto. That they probably have no idea is being shared via the whole Cox mobile hotspot program, which has me super curious. Like if mine is being shared, I get a feeling it probably is, or maybe they just share their commercial customers' hotspots. I don't know, but I do find that I connect to Cox mobile hotspots just some of the most random locations. So. And as it's technically not public Wi-Fi, it's private Wi-Fi that I'm paying for, but it does seem to be faster than a lot of public Wi-Fi that I get. But you know, the speed varies, and it really does depend on how good of a connection I get. So I'm in front of the big anchor for the strip mall, which is a Goodwill. That is a great Goodwill store, by the way. In case I didn't mention it, I'm at 16th Street, and I did mention it, 16th Street and Indian School. Just walking through the front of the strip mall, the walkway, which is kind of nice. It's covered. A lot of strip mall walkways are. So, I mean, if it was raining, I'd at least be out of the rain. But this one ends right here, so I kind of walk out. And there's a spot for donation drop-offs. I do kind of wish that walkway actually was more connected right here. I'm having to walk across gravel, but that's a minor inconvenience. Because it does get me right here to this, to the walkway along this canal. which will take me right back to Urbandale Park. And this is a nice walkway. I've ridden this on my scooter many times and walked it several times. It's a nice walk, but I've never vlogged it, so I get to share it with y'all. And I do like the fact that I'm able to walk directly to the walkway at the strip mall, because a lot of times there'll be walls that separate the separate this pathway from the strip mall, so where you actually have to go out to the street and then double back, and it just shows how little concern there is for people who use these walkways as transportation. I didn't get it on the camera. I was just trying not to be intrusive and rude and keep moving and act like I didn't notice it, but maybe about 30-40 seconds ago, I did see a small homeless encampment. It looked like one, maybe two people. Just trying to focus and keep walking forward. One, maybe two people sleeping on a mattress with a bicycle laying down next to it and some other personal artifacts. So yeah, that's their home. Like I said, there are homeless people in Phoenix. It's just they're a little more cleverly hidden than they are in LA. With Phoenix having the most rapidly growing cost of living of any city in the United States, I only see it getting worse. Now, I know there's been a lot of talk about the, what we call it, the COVID rent moratorium ending. I do believe that's going to have a really big impact on homelessness across the United States in a lot of places. I don't think it's going to have a huge impact on Arizona compared to other states, just because from what I've been gathering from just talking to people, Arizona, I don't want to say Arizona ignores it, but Arizona ignores it. It's real easy for a landlord in Arizona to evict you for another reason, whether that reason is your neighbors say you're noisy, or you've got debris on your patio. We've told, do a couple warnings. As long as they can bring to the justice court or the city court, wherever they're going to do the eviction, as long as they can bring up something that has nothing to do with rent, then your inability to pay rent because of COVID and the moratorium is no longer a factor. That's kind of nice. A walkway